Hello everyone, bonsoir tout le monde. Son plaisir pour moi avec nous encore une fois. Bienvenue dans Investor Tech 2021 Shelter Competition. Welcome to the Investor Tech 2021, the Shelter Pitch Competition. My name is Kyle Berg, and for the third time, I'm really happy to host the show tonight. The Diaspora Partnership Accelerator is a pilot project funded by USAID's Bureau of Humanitarian Assistance and implemented in partnership with Haiti Renewal Alliance. Institutional humanitarian actors and donors find themselves at a crossroad where new approaches, innovative voices, and dynamic partnership must be explored in order to deliver the most efficient and impactful humanitarian aid. The Diaspora Partnership Accelerator is situated against this backdrop, and through this initiative, USAID aims to better identify and prioritize the humanitarian needs affecting vulnerable communities in Haiti, design and implement better solutions to those problems, and test an innovative partnership model with new and non-traditional actors. As you know it, the competition is implemented in partnership with Haiti Renewal Alliance, which is an organization that promotes diaspora engagement for the sustainable development and investment in Haiti. You need also, I have to tell you, sorry, once the competition is over, the Bureau of Humanitarian Assistance will tap into another partner to work with the winners in implementing the projects. The competition has three categories: agribusiness, health, and shelters, and you will find more information on the website investortech.org. Tonight, it's all about shelters. Loire Valley Construction, CAI. We're talking about housing development businesses who support people affected by disasters and internally displaced people affected by conflict with the means to live in safe, dignified, and appropriate shelter, such as building and structures that provide shelter, privacy, and protection from danger and bad weather. Three organizations, trois organisations, je dis, contrairement à semaine passée, au côté que nous avons 5. Cora Inc., DJP Multiple Services, Friends of Matenois, will pitch the project in front of our judges, and only one will win $150,000. Nous avons deux belles shows semaine passée sur agribusiness avec santé. C'était très bien passé. Et je n'ai pas de doute que à soir, tout le bagage est correct et super excité. I have to also mention we're gonna have a fourth show to reveal the winners of each category with a special performance of Haitian artist Belo. Now it's time for me to introduce, as usual, Mr. Mike Desisti of the Office of Global Policy, Partnerships, Program and Communication at the Bureau for Humanitarian Assistance at USAID for his welcome remarks, followed by the judges' introduction. And then we will kick off the pitch competition.
The notion that unity is strength, so central to Haiti's origin story, is an ideal that underpins USAID's unwavering commitment to the nation and its people. Even with recovery and rebuilding efforts underway, we continue to work collaboratively with our partners and diaspora communities to meet the needs of the Haitian people, both in the short and the long term. USAID's Bureau for Humanitarian Assistance, better known as BHA, provides life-saving assistance to the world's most vulnerable people in the face of conflict and aftermath of natural disasters, including the devastating earthquake that occurred in Haiti in mid-August. But humanitarian needs, such as food, water, shelter, emergency healthcare, sanitation and hygiene, and critical nutrition services, consistently outstrip resources available. This is why innovative approaches and new partnerships, including the one with Diaspora that brings us together here today, are so critical. Diaspora engage as humanitarian actors in a number of ways, through transnational social networks, transfer of specialized skills, sharing of knowledge in local context, and remittances. Partnerships with diaspora can not only advance efforts to make aid delivery and impact more effective, but they help bridge the humanitarian development nexus in order to achieve more sustainable outcomes. Today, you'll get a glimpse of one of BHA's diaspora partnerships in action. Through the Diaspora Partnership Accelerator, or DPA for short, the Bureau for Humanitarian Assistance is funding the implementation of diaspora-led projects in 3 sectors: shelter, health, and agribusiness. The Diaspora Partnership Accelerator is an 18-month initiative designed to pilot innovative and collaborative partnerships between BHA and diaspora groups. In conjunction with local actors and affected communities in Haiti, Haitian diaspora organizations identified and designed innovative solutions for some of the nation's most pressing challenges related to disaster risk reduction and humanitarian assistance. From 52 diaspora organizations that applied, 13 were shortlisted for this competition. These shortlisted projects demonstrated innovation, the promise to deliver significant impact, and proposed a well-defined strategy to achieve objectives. Beyond the Diaspora Partnership Accelerator, BHA is dedicated to engaging with diaspora to leverage their innovation, skills, and resources to better address the humanitarian challenges facing our world today. We've established a growing team in the Bureau specialized on building bridges with diaspora communities and on expanding program opportunities around diaspora humanitarianism. Across all of our programs and activities, BHA aims to create openings for improved coordination between diaspora humanitarians and institutional humanitarian partners. I want to applaud all of the contestants who have worked tirelessly to design activities relevant to the needs of Haitian people that are doable within the allotted project timeframe. Each of you have earned your spot among the pioneers of this innovative initiative. With all sincerity, you are all winners in that regard. And for the select few who receive additional support to implement their projects, take this opportunity to show the world that diaspora community engagement and humanitarian assistance is possible, essential, and most importantly, impactful in both the short and the long term with sustainability in mind. Let me close by reiterating USAID's heartfelt gratitude to the contestants and organizers of today's event. By working together, exchanging ideas, and contributing to a collective outcome without insisting on owning it, we can build a stronger Haiti together. Unity is strength. Thank you and good luck.
All right. It's always a pleasure to be with you guys. Hello, what's up?
Hi, Karel. Nice to see
Hey,
you
what's
again.
going on, Karel?
What's up, Kyle?
Good.
Hello.
I'm a little bit sad though, I have to say, because tonight is like the last speech competition.
That's right. It's been a fun ride.
Of course, and I hope we're gonna make the best out of it. Perfect. All right, this is the judges. The 3 organizations will pitch their project in front of the judges. We call them the technical evaluation committee, and then they will vote after each pitch. And then after the 3 pitches tonight, we're gonna have the results, and we will be able to vote after midnight, and the voting process will last 5 days. So now that the judges are ready, it's time to kick off the competition with Cora.
The winner of the competition will be the organization which accumulates the most amount of points. The maximum total score is 200 points. 150 points allocated from the Technical Evaluation Committee, TEC, and 50 points allocated from the public voting. The Technical Evaluation Committee will account for 75%, while the public vote will count for 25% of the total score. The Technical Evaluation Committee is composed of 5 judges. Each judge will tally their score for each project after each pitch. Scores will be calculated based on 10 key indicators for the project pitch evaluation: assessment and scope of needs, engagement, management, innovation, feasibility, planning, project impact, disaster risk reduction, sustainability, and presentation. Each criterion will receive a score using a 3-point Likert scale: 1 equals disagree, 2 equals neutral, 3 equals agree, for a total score of 30 points. The judges' scores will be tabulated to give the pitch a total score of maximum 150 points. The public will have an opportunity to vote for their favorite project after each virtual pitch event. The voting process will start at midnight after each event and will last 5 days. A score of up to 50 will be included in the final score based on the accumulated vote from the public. Highest vote scores 50, second highest vote scores 45, third highest vote scores 40, fourth highest vote scores 35, fifth highest vote scores 30. The public score of 50 will be added to the TEC score, 150 points, for a total score of 200. Let's consider 2 projects, Project X and Project Y. After its presentation, Project X has been given the following scores by the judges: Judge 1, 25, Judge 2, 30, Judge 3, 28, Judge 4, 20, Judge 5, 17. Project X accumulates a total of 120 points. After its presentation, Project Y has been given the following scores by the judges: Judge 1, 20, Judge 2, 18, Judge 3, 27, Judge 4, 25, Judge 5, 26. Project Y accumulates a total of 116 points. After the public vote, Project Y finishes second with a score of 45 points. Project X finishes fourth with a score of 35 points. At the end, Project X accumulates a total of 155 points, and Project Y accumulates a total of 161 points. Although Project X has a better score from the TEC, Project Y ends up winning because it has been voted more by the public. For more information, visit investortank.org.
Greetings. Honor. My name is Marie Fouché. I live in New York and since 2010 have been a volunteer for Coalition pour le relèvement de l'Haut-Savoie, CORA. I wrote the proposal for this apprenticeship for habitat restoration, community maintenance training.
Alphonse Labissière, President of CORA, which endeavors to revitalize the town for all its inhabitants. We believe that everyone can make a difference if we organize ourselves. 3 existing community groups merged on June 14, 2009 to form a grassroots organization under the name of Kora. Our goal is to revitalize Ansavo, raising the standard of living.
The challenges are that the young people are inexperienced and jobless. Homes are easily damaged by natural disasters. Absence of concept of maintenance and construction materials not available locally. We overcome these challenges through education and leadership. Our motivation is to provide opportunities to the local community in a sustainable way. We need competent local construction professionals in the area, more tools and materials. The funds will be used to purchase construction materials, tools, protective gear, stipends, house repairs, hiring of a manager, finally, grow the tools bank. Owner. My name is Marie-Romain Fouché. In 2010, I joined Kora, a group dedicated to renew the arrondissement of Ansavo in the department of Nippes. Ansavo is a rural area in the south of Haiti with 154,000 people spread over 230 square miles. It is prone to recurrent earthquakes and hurricanes, which cause destruction. It also lacks infrastructure. Local tradesmen are not affordable. Few homeowners hire outside the community. Construction materials must be purchased from major towns, adding high transportation costs. The local youth that learn a specific trade lack the experience to build and repair homes. Provide training and on-the-job experience to 30 young local interns who learn specific trade in construction through the Centre Juvenile of the Salesians. Licensed instructors will work in collaboration with a civil engineer to supervise the restoration of 10 homes which are slightly to moderately damaged according to the MTPTC guidelines. These houses belonging to low-income individuals. The intern will have protective gear for a safe working environment. The interns will acquire collaborative experience in construction. They will also teach community members to maintain their homes. Both groups will be able to rent tools at low cost from the tools bank. There are no low-cost local contractors. The competitors are individual entrepreneurs from surrounding localities, electricians, technicians who leave after completing their work with the funds earned from Ansavo, resulting in economic leakage. Our mission is to encourage, support, and promote sustainable development while fostering dialogue and collaboration with organizations in the area. Our vision is to offer viable opportunities for education and employment of our youth. Our values are to promote a sense of dignity for all citizens and recognize their right to education, shelter, and opportunities to support themselves. The immediate market are the students from the Centre Juvenile and the low-income community homeowners. As a nonprofit organization, funding comes from membership, fundraising, raffles, and small grants. The employed interns will contribute dues or engage fundraising events. Using a sliding scale method, homeowners will pay for low-cost materials or contribute sweat equity for this project and neighborhood upkeeps, or developing projects such as the reforestation campaign and the emergency shelter construction. If properties are maintained, the community will become attractive to visitors. 2012 brought in the diocese the PFST for Economic Development in Broussard. 2014-2015, 30 young interns were trained in hospitality and tourism, and 4 weeks for 2 years in preparation for 300th anniversary. With the municipality, we created street signage and welcoming sign, cleared inner roads, and built a toilet facility for the cathedral. 2018, first school nurse was hired for Salesian Elementary School. 2020, a trained team set up stations in town for COVID-19 prevention response. 2014, Cora received a citation from Carrie Solage, Nassau County Town Legislator. 2018, HSF, a sister organization in Osavo, recognized our efforts with the Renaissance Osavo Project and the NIP directory website. Funds will be used to hire a manager, stipends for the instructors and interns, purchase construction materials, protective gear, tools and equipment to grow the tools bank, and solar system for the Centre Juvenile. Our teams consist of Philippe Pereira, civil engineer advisor, whose buildings in Haiti did not sustain any damage in the 2010 earthquake. Sonid Simon, community planning advisor, who supervised standards education implementation for the VFHI in Savane Perdue. Cora's board members in the US and Osavo. The Cathedral of St. Anne's pastor, Monsignor Louis Merosne, 4 licensed instructors and sisters in the Salesian school. Messi. That was the wrong pitch deck with this. I don't hear you, Carol.
Oh, all right. Moi, du respect, Marie, puisque tu dis nous honneur.
Unfortunately, my presentation was not, my pitch deck was not put in properly. That was not my pitch deck.
Sorry about that, but I think the judges has everything already. They just listen to your pitch.
But not my newest one, so there might be some discrepancy. Okay.
All right, so let's see if the judges have some questions for you about your presentation. Who's going first? I have to pick. I will pick.
Yeah.
All right, Evelyn, you go first.
Oh, Raymond. Okay, fine.
Raymond, go first.
Then.
Okay.
Right.
Ladies first. Evelyn, you go
Ladies first. Go ahead.
Thank you, Raymond. Marie, thank you so much for your presentation. Very worthy project that you want to implement. I have a question. So you did mention that when I was going through your proposal that you are planning to build 10 homes.
Not build, renovate.
Repair. 10 distressed homes. And these were people who were selected from the community and they were the most vulnerable. My question then to you is that how confident are you that the process that was used to select these 10 individuals was transparent and that actually the people who need the help the most are the ones whose homes are going to be renovated?
The sisters, the priest, and other Cora members are the one who are going to make that choice. They are going to vet them according to what their incomes are and their past history. We know the people in the community and what they are capable of.
Good.
Okay.
Raymond?
Great. Marie, so I applaud your endeavor to employ 30 young locals in the area. So my question is, if you win today's competition, what are your plans for the 30 young locals that you will employ beyond the funding period?
Those 30 will have that collaborative experience of working as teams on repairing those homes while learning standards and codes of the MTPTC. So after that, they will be known in the community because they will have bonded with the members of the community. They will become, they will work in general with the community because they have to teach maintenance. So they will be known so that they would be employed in their field of expertise because some of them are electricians, some of them have different skills.
Thank you.
Perfect. Good. Jessica?
Yeah, thank you for the presentation, Marie. So you noted that building materials are not available locally and that there are high transportation costs. So how will you source your materials at lower cost while still ensuring quality and stability in the event of an emergency like an earthquake or a hurricane?
Most materials will be bought in Haiti, in Port-au-Prince or in Miraguan, the nearest town, but we will try to buy them in bulk and transport them as one at one time so that they will become more readily, less expensive for the people.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Daniela?
Hi, Marie. Thank you very much for the presentation. I just wanted to be clear about something. So what we're talking about here is the renovation of 10 distressed homes.
Correct.
Can you please say a little bit more about your plans for scalability as well as sustainability of your project beyond the life of the DPA? So how would you grow it in the future beyond the 10 homes? And how would the project be sustained?
The first goal, as you can understand, is that interns are going to get experience in repairing under the supervision of those instructors and the civil engineer. Afterwards, they will be able to be employed for other houses in the community because this project was written in 2017 before the earthquake. The whole of downtown Osavo is completely damaged. So there is work to be done. But because they don't have the experience, they are not known in the community, it is more difficult for them to find employment. But we feel that after this experience, this bonding between the participants and the community, they will be better known and they will be hired by the community.
Thank you, Marie. Can I throw in another question just briefly?
Yes.
How do you plan to select the 30 youth or the 30 skilled employees to work with?
We have sponsored the San Juvenile for many years. It's run by the Salesian Sisters. And since its inception, we have not paid specifically for students. Some members of other communities pay for them, sponsors them. But we help pay the instructor because sometimes they don't pay the tuition. They can't pay the tuition. So we have been able to be there to pay the instructor so that they can continue with the course, or provide the materials for them so that they can learn. So these are graduates from the center, and they have been doing it for the past 3 years. The statistics that I had in the other slide would have shown you the number of graduates.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Daniela. Etop? You're on mute, Etop.
Apologies. Hello, Marie. Thank you for your comments and the responses to the questions thus far. Just a question regarding the approach in the proposal. So there's a multi-pronged approach. So you have training and restoration.
Yes.
How will you accomplish both objectives with a small amount of funding for this project?
Okay. Those trainees that we have, the 30, will be working for 4 weeks with a stipend. While they have the learning process, they work for those 4 weeks. Let's say the first 2 weeks, they help restore 5 homes. And they are going to be supervised by those 4 instructors and the civil engineer. And they are going to be evaluated for their work for the first 2 weeks. The next 2 weeks, those students will be going to different homes to repair by teams. And we said before, slightly to moderate distress home. They will not go to houses like in the code. We have the yellow, green, and red homes, depending on how the MTPTC describes them. They will be doing the light, slightly damaged homes first. Then they will increase for the following weeks for the next 5 homes. How are they going to sustain themselves? They are going to be hired. Maybe now, because of the earthquake, they will be employed to rebuild or to build, because they will have that relationship with the community who will know who they are, their availability and their skills, because they will be evaluated at the end of those 4 weeks program.
Yeah, and as a follow-up question, have you guys done estimates on the expert costs, the stipend costs, and the tools and materials that will be used for the building, or restoration, rather?
You're on mute, Mary. Yes,
Sorry.
you're good now. Okay.
Oh, we have a budget that we prepared. The first part for the stipend, the personnel and gear, we said 10%. We keep it to the lower end. And then we have the tools and equipment that we need. This will be in the tools bank and also available for the school for more training. And the construction is the one that will take the most of the bulk of the money.
Thank you, Marie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you want specific numbers?
Sure.
Oh, okay. We believe that the experts, teachers, interns, equipment for interns would come up to about $15,000. And then the solar panel part that you don't have in that pie chart because of the wrong pitch deck will be about $10,500 for the solar panel for the Centre Juvenile. And the purchase of tools, $45,000, and the materials, the supplies, $79,500.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Valine. I know that you see that time's up, but thank you, Marie. Bon travail. Je suis certain que Mouna Savo très fier de ça que vous avez fait. Et qu'on y a, c'est eux-mêmes qui, avec l'autre monde qui remet projet là, qui pourra le voter dans le vote qui a commencé à minuit. I just said that the voting process starting at midnight tonight and will last 5 days. And people of Savo and people who love that project and want to support Cora and with Marie Fouché and her team can go vote. And now the judges are going to the scoring board. Okay, and then
as you can see, we're currently in WFP World Food Program's central warehouse in Port-au-Prince. It stores rice, yellow split peas, vegetable oil, and other food commodities that will be distributed to communities affected by the earthquake. As USAID DART logistician, I'm supporting partners like WFP Logistics Sector to coordinate partners so they have access to common transport and logistics services to maximize efficiencies and ensure that supplies get to affected communities as quickly as possible. So if you would like to help, first of all, thank you. The best way to help is to donate cash to organizations that are already on the ground and already working together. While well-intentioned, donating hard goods from overseas may disrupt operations that are already ongoing and might not meet the needs that are actually on the ground.
Earthquakes, hurricanes, these are some of the things that can cause homelessness. And right now in Haiti, that is a major problem. Hi, my name is Daniela Dagrin, and I am the president of DJP Multiple Services. For the past 28 years, we have been providing homes for those here in America. But now our attention is focused on going back to Haiti to build houses that are both safer, greener, and more innovative. So we would like for you to come along with us and build a house, a whole village, a whole town that will be partnering with the children from Potimo and the nurses and health professionals from Haiti Healthcare Aid. Through this partnership, we have also partnered with people that we can buy, create bricks made out of plastics, light, solar energy, the whole work, the whole package. So I'm looking forward to presenting to you our vision for Haiti and the answer to the diaspora reconnecting to Haiti. Thank you very much. Vision for Haiti and the answer to the diaspora reconnecting to Haiti. Thank you very much. Good evening. My name is Daniela Dagrin, and I am the president of DJP Multiple Services. It is a for-profit organization who has been in business for the past 28 years. Haiti is centrally our concern. The problem that we're having is that there's homelessness in Haiti. And homelessness is a global issue exacerbated by natural and man-made disasters. This is especially acute amongst the women and children population in Haiti. Currently, there is a huge demand for safe, eco-friendly, and affordable housing. According to the latest UNICEF Humanitarian Situation Report, violence, poverty, and food scarcity forced 19,000 people to flee their homes, not to mention the recent disaster that we had in August. Solving homelessness in Haiti can help reduce crime, poverty, poor hygiene, and health, gender-based violence, and hopelessness. Plus, the diaspora could safely reconnect with Haiti. We have come up with a solution to this problem, and it's called Build Back Safer and Cleaner. This project is a pilot program that involves creating low-cost homes with green energy and recyclable materials. Our designs use recycled and new building materials, including plastic, for solar illumination. This new light source will help residents and their children while increasing security. The future plans for us is to create a small village with 1 to 3 bedroom homes and all the modern green amenities of a thriving neighborhood. Why is our model superior? Our competitive advantage stems from the uniqueness of the materials used in construction, as well as the innovation in resolving Haiti's energy crisis. Building more secure dwellings necessitates local population education, which has implications not only for our local economy, but also for how houses are built in the north and in the next 3 years all through Haiti. Now, why are we better? It is because we're pioneering waste to energy conversion to maximize recyclable materials. Thus, a new sector will be developed in Haiti, reducing pollution, saving lives, and stabilizing the economy. To ensure the long-term viability of reconstruction, we are focusing our efforts on educating the local population, and this includes both public and employee education. Our mission is to design and build homes for the people of Haiti that's safe, environmentally sustainable, beautiful, and structurally solid at the same time. We want to get the Haitian people involved in the country's development, again by reducing the instability in Haiti. Through our partnership with Haiti Healthcare Aid and Potimo Pouvoir Timoun, the community will be trained in health and in solar light construction. Our vision is to make the northern part of Haiti and eventually the entire peninsula code compliant and accessible to professionals, as well as the Haitian diaspora, by revamping the real estate sector to create a new industry that will add thousands of skilled and high-paying jobs. Our values primarily based on our devotion to the sovereign God, which compels us to collaborate in order to help Haiti. Our faith has led us to be open and honest in all our dealings because we are committed to providing exceptional service. We work for our clients' benefits. We've learned to have faith in people while also double-checking everything. The Haitian motto is L'union fait la force, which translates our power lies in unity. We anticipate our market to be women who may be victims of gender-based violence, the Haitian diaspora, industry specialists, Haitian professionals, non-governmental organizations, businesses interested in relocating to Haiti. We are anticipating that we'll be able to recoup or raise revenue by selling each house and plot of land separately, by building for rent or sale to individuals, the government, non-governmental organizations, and businesses. How do we source our money? We plan to fund our activities through the sale and rental of the homes and apartments we sell, as well as through investment, government participation, and grants. We believe that by combining our advertising campaign with outreach programs conducted by local communities, community liaisons, and networks, we will be able to attract customers and engage the diaspora. For over 28 years, we've helped thousands of people become homeowners. Many community members and potential clients have learned about housing, buying through our first-time home program. We're a member of the local MLS, National Association of Realtors and One Key. And we have been trained by USAID, IOM, and HRM in their last disaster preparedness and rebuilding safer training in 2020. In the event we get this funding, we are expecting to purchase land in the outskirts of Cap Haitian to build 3 houses as models, and we are looking forward to using the money to help train people in the internship program to teach the ladies and their children how to create bottle lights. Our team consists of a very reputable engineer that is also an architect builder in Haiti by the name of Lovell Judy, a mechanical engineer who is a pioneer in the solar technology. He has been in the industry for the past 30 years. Also, we have with us the president of Haiti Healthcare Aid, who will be spearheading the training on the health division, and myself, who has over 28 years in real estate. We are looking forward to helping our people build back greener and safer. And thank you for this time.
Thank you, Daniela. Great presentation. All right.
Thank you very much.
Good. And the judges are ready to ask you some questions. We're going to start with Evelyn again. You have the first question.
All right. Thank you so much, Daniela. I really like the fact that you're targeting women and children who are at risk of violence. There's been various case studies that have shown that other housing projects, which have been intended for people who are really at risk, sometimes end up in the wrong hands. Either the people who are supposed to be the beneficiaries are either coerced out of those housing units, or they're offered money or other incentives to give up those housing units. So then my question for you is, what plans do you have in place to ensure that those rightful people who are targeted for this project are the ones who will actually get to live in those houses?
Well, that is an excellent question. One that has raised a lot of concerns for us. Be mindful of the fact that we're a for-profit organization. And one of the things that we are going to be teaching the people is the value in real estate. And I believe once you educate the people on the worth of their housing, they're not going to easily give it up. I kind of hate the fact that many times you have housing that are created for lower income people. And then in few years down the line, then you find gentrification taking place. And we have certain steps in place to ensure that that doesn't happen through our local partnership in Haiti. So we have many of the local community pastors and community leaders that will be vetting and teaching the people to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Thank you.
Good. Raymond?
Sure, Daniela, thank you. So, in looking at your financials in your budget, I see that you propose a travel expense budget that's in the range of $15,000 to $25,000, while your labor cost budget is between $30,000 to $70,000. So, what is the benefit of potentially having 16% of your potential funding going towards travel expense to inspect a project?
Recently, I tried to travel to Haiti, and since I do not own a home in Haiti, the hotels were asking $100, $150 per night. And that kind of made me not go, which is one of the reasons why one of the first things that we are going to be building is a small little house that will cut the budget down. And when I did write this down, this was just an estimate. After I started doing more research and our team got together and decided the best solution to that is to have a place that is maybe a one room with a small bathroom where people who are coming can stay safely and do not have to go and spend that money. So we are looking into cutting that budget in more than half.
So to confirm, 16% of your budget won't go toward travel.
Won't go, no.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you, Raymond. Jessica?
Great. Thank you also, Daniela, for the presentation. Recognizing that you're using some very new materials for the community, building materials, which are environmentally sustainable, easily accessible, but quite unfamiliar as building materials. I'm curious from a cultural perspective, how prepared are community members to live in buildings that are made out of plastic bottles?
That's a great question. One of the things that I'm excited about, I don't know if you hear the excitement in my voice, but the builder that I am working with and the architect that I'm working with already knows about this technology and has already made has taken steps to get the machinery. And he's also a professor. He teaches. He's also an assistant director at a school. He's also a minister. So our program consists of teaching the people, educating them, because once the people know what's entailed and you show them the benefit and you show them why it's being done and you show them the sustainability of that aspect, they will come along. They will come along without any hesitation. I have no doubt. I used to be a teacher and for the Board of Education. So I taught once a person gets it, you can't change it. So I am very confident it's going to be well received. So.
All right.
Yeah.
And now Daniela has a question for Daniela.
Hi, Daniela.
Hi, Daniela. It's unusual to have two Danielas in the same room, but nice that we have the opportunity. So I do have a question for you. You mentioned in the written application that under the competitive advantage section, that what makes your organization unique is that it has direct experience with diaspora-led disaster risk reduction and humanitarian relief or humanitarian assistance. And this is really something that sets you apart from, many other diaspora organizations. So my question for you is, if you could please say a bit more about maybe the lessons you've learned from that experience and how you think those lessons will influence the successful implementation of the project.
One of the things I find out is the diaspora thinks differently. We're not afraid of trying new things, and because of the fact that we have been trained in green technology, we're not afraid to use it. We're not afraid to think outside the box. And as a matter of fact, one of the things that is happening recently, I've been doing a lot of research on using plastic even greater than just building the material, building material. I find that in Australia right now, plastic is not only being used as brick or road, but it's also being used in a form to create energy. They're also combining plastic with cloth to create new materials. So being exposed to all of that gives me the advantage to go and explore how further we can expand and correct some of the things that have been done wrong. How can we take our experience, our understanding, our knowledge, and bring it home to Haiti and teach the people? And I believe that until you get more of the diaspora engaged in helping rebuild Haiti, you're going to be doing a hit and miss, because you don't have people who are outsiders coming in telling them what to do. You have the children coming home and said, I've learned this and I'd like to share this with you. And I think it will be more receptive because you have the diaspora doing it, and they kind of know the language and familiar with the culture, so it'll be a lot easier. So I don't know if I answered your question, but if I have not, please ask again, because I tend to go on a tantrum when I'm excited.
Thank you very much. It's perfect.
Thank you, Daniela.
You're welcome.
Yes, Daniela, thank you for the presentation so far and answers to the questions. Just looking at the budget and the proposal, it exceeds the limit of the 150,000 by an overwhelming amount, more than 300,000. So just looking at wondering how the company plans to fund the remaining amount of the project if the budget for what the desire is exceeds what you would get from this competition.
Well, one of the things that one reason that I set the budget at that is because I felt like any surprises, any contingency. My husband does construction, and there are times when you are doing construction, you set a budget for a certain amount, and if you don't leave room for contingency, then you end up having how would you say that, a problem in completing the project. We always try to over budget rather than under budget, in case there are mishaps, there are shortages, there are things that happen that are beyond your control. Having said that, one of the things that we are looking towards is reducing the cost of the land. Recently, I had asked someone to look into the purchases of a land, and I don't know if it's because I was a diaspora, but they were asking me a lot of money, an exorbitant amount of money, which it didn't make sense to me. But the people that I now am working with happen to be, some of the courses are just like, how much would it be for a complete house? Totally furnished, totally, not just the shell, but everything complete, so that you would be able to stage. Because being a realtor, the advantage of having a house that is well staged sells better and quicker than a house that is not staged. So everything is included. I did not give you all the details, but yeah, it's not going to remain that way, because we are already working on reducing it by looking for properties that are further out than in the city, and I think that would more than reduce our costs.
Okay, yeah, I have another question. Yeah. Thank you for that. So your company experience is in real estate, business development, and tax preparation in New York specifically, right? So due to the lack of experience building homes in Haiti, how will you ensure the partnership with Steph Construction will be successful?
Reason being is because of the integrity of the person that we are working with. When like-minded people come together and our vision or correlate, I believe that it will be successful. Like I said in my values, I trust but I verify. So far, the information that I have gotten concerning Steph Construction is that it is a reputable company. And the architect that we are working with in Haiti also is a reputable company. So we do have two solid, reputable people that have long-term history in construction that we can if there's a problem here, the other one can compensate for the other. So we're not just knowing that we don't have the experience for the groundwork in Haiti. We rely heavily on those who are local, and they have more than 30 years combined experience.
Okay. Very last question right now, Evaline.
Yes. So Daniela, I think you mentioned 2 houses. Could you just be very specific about how many housing units you plan to put up?
Now, I mentioned 2 houses, and the only reason why I mentioned 2 houses is because of everything that will go into the houses. Not just what's going into the houses, how it is built, but also on the training. We are planning on working with Potimo, which happens to have a group of students, young students in the age of maybe 17 to 18 up, and that requires their participation. So I am looking forward to having even more. I just said it that way in the event we run into a problem, but it's rather to say, okay, we're going to do this than not to be able to perform at all.
Okay,
all right.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Daniela. Thank you, judges.
Thank you very much.
It's time to go to the scoring board. And good luck. Et puis, pas oublier, vote commence à minuit pendant 5 jours pour nous capable voter pour moun qui pour gagner dans catégorie shelter. We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to have the last pitch from Friends of Matinoa.
Pour causer construction dans la Gonave, c'est une situation qui coûte cher en pile. Et matériaux pour faire caillou, il faut que c'est dans grand terre pour aller, et pour l'acheter et puis il coûte un pile cob. Tout de suite quand on parle avec eux, si route là pas bon, c'est autant que vous dépensez plus cob. Ça c'est ensemble raison qui fait construction très cher et très coûteux dans l'île de la Gonave. Un caille qui construit un bloc bouteille gagne un pile avantage. Parce que premièrement, Bousta yo c'est aux environs, c'est dans la rue nous ramasser yo ou bien moun bénéficiaire ramasser yo pas coûté comme et puis ça mettant dans yo pour plein tout yo pas coûté comme ça veut dire yon caille qui fait en Bousta li moins coûté que si nous t'a fait en l'autre qualité caille. Pour technique caille en Bousta, nous commençons avec expérience ça depuis à partir du tremblement de terre. Nous continuons dans les cyclones Mathieu, nous continuons avec lui. Mais dans le commencement, il faut me dire qu'il n'est pas trop facile parce que même pour bosser, pas d'habitude de faire caille, ça, pas de courir là-dedans. Bénéficiaires autour, comme il n'y a pas de gain caille, il est obligé d'accord, mais ni boss, ni bénéficiaires, il n'y a pas de courir dans l'expérience que nous-mêmes, dans le KM, nous avons poursuivre là. Nous voulons pour Tizi, nous sommes toujours propres. Pour nous toujours les touristes entrer pour que les îles soient propres. Ça vient faire que les nous recycler les Bousta et moins pas dans la rue. C'est-à-dire nous recycler même pas pour nous faire un autre bon magasin qui c'est construction.
Vision nous, c'est permettre tout le monde en dehors de gagner un caille qui est chamette, chametresse.
All right. As the Haitian proverb states, piti a piti, zoazo a fait nichli. Little by little, the bird builds its nest. In rural Haiti, this is literal. Because there is no access to financial instruments, families build their homes one brick at a time on land they may not have rights to in a drawn-out construction process that lasts for years. Bonsoir tout le monde. My name is Juliette Lowe-Fleury, and I'm a former student of the Matanois Community Learning Center. Our project, Room to Grow, Accessible Housing for Rural Haiti, promotes and accelerates home ownership for families who found it out of reach before. Families are trapped in a cycle of poverty. They spend 85% of their income on food, leaving little to invest in necessities such as decent shelter. They cut construction costs, often by using as little cement and rebar as possible, resulting in less sturdy structures that cannot withstand disasters such as hurricanes and earthquakes. The homes that they have spent years building can be destroyed by a single storm. Our solution is immediate home ownership. We address the financing gap with manageable contracts of over a 5, 10, or 15-year period. We value structural integrity so that families are protected from disasters instead of having to rebuild after the fact. Our homes come equipped with water access and garden plots, ensuring households can grow produce to eat and sell, doubling their income while reallocating much of the budget that was spent on food. They spend less and they make more. Homeownership is no longer out of reach. We create value that wasn't there before by buying undesirable land at lower cost and transforming it. We build on mountainsides, using terracing and tree planting to prevent erosion, retain water in the soil, and create arable land on slopes that were once barren. Access to water makes planting possible year-round, even during drought seasons that have been increasingly longer due to climate change. Our eco-bricks provide a purpose for used plastic in communities where there's no waste management system. Our approach is innovative because it sustainably responds to rural Haiti's challenging landscape by leveraging local strengths and resources. We know eco-brick homes. We've been building them for over 10 years in response to natural disaster. People have seen that these eco-brick walls are thicker and sturdier and can keep rooms cooler. We have community buy-in to build back better with eco-bricks. Now, we want to shift our efforts from disaster response to sustainable business because we see the lack of accessible housing as its own crisis. The status quo is for 8 family members to crowd under one roof. Our solution offers a way out of these conditions. We have been pursuing our mission for 25 years. We work on La Gonave, referred to often as the forgotten Haiti, because they rarely receive resources from the outside. We rely on each other. Resilience is a resource that we draw on to confront acute disasters and chronic issues such as climate change and political instability. Solutions emerge from their lived experiences, cultural wisdom, and buy-in. We target low to mid-income families who stand to benefit from our grow sell model. We designed a payment system that reflects the current realities and the earning potential. Our system offers flexibility and extended grace periods. Our first group of homeowners contracts will be an even mix of 5, 10, and 15-year payment periods. With this round of funding, we will invest in 24 homes, bringing in at least $18,000 every year. After covering our administrative costs, we will reinvest profits to build 2 to 3 new homes every year. And at the 10-year mark, our sustainable model will have yielded nearly 50 homes with at least 20 debt-free homeowners. And that's just with Investor Tank funding. Other key partnerships will enable us to build more homes, expanding our reach and replicating this model in more communities. With Investor Tank's funds, we will buy 2 plots of land big enough to fit 12 to 15 homes each. We will build 24 homes to start, and we'll cover administrative costs during the launch of this initiative, including financial planning for prospective homeowners. We have a 25-year track record of launching cooperatives for farmers and artisans. We have built 40 homes, and we have established over 300 home water access points. We have also established over 1,300 home gardens. We've built a strong and efficient team of builders and growers through our disaster response efforts. They are all Haitian, all local, and eager to combine their building experience, financial savvy, and expertise on the ground to carry out a new phase in our housing initiative. Financing is key to making home ownership a reality for Haitians. Will you open this door with us?
All right. Good job, Juliette.
Thank you.
I hope you'll find the answer of the last questions on November 9th when we're going to reveal the winners. Now it's time for the judges to ask you some questions. Who's going first? Evaline, do you want to go first? I think you're on mute. It's okay.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Juliette. Great presentation. So I noticed that Friends of Matenwa does great work in the community based on all the information you've shared, and also the proposals, and also from our own desk research. Now, I realized that Friends of Matenwa also entered the competition in the agribusiness sector. And I was just wondering, if you are lucky enough to become winners in both categories, how prepared are you to effectively implement these projects and ensure that both the projects, or whichever one you win, will actually get the amount of time and the level of effort required to see the projects to fruition?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. If we were to win both, we would have dedicated teams to work on each individual process. And while some of the things we would be doing are the same, we would be doing terracing for both gardening and promoting agriculture. Luckily, there's not a shortage of mountains in La Gonâve, so we would be able to purchase different areas of land to do both projects, and we would have enough staff members and community members to man each one.
Good. Thank you, Evaline and Juliette. Daniela, it's your turn now.
Hi, Juliette. Thank you. So up front, I'm not a technical expert on shelters or eco-bricks, but I just wanted to ask if you could explain something to me very simply about the materials and the way these eco-bricks work. So what exactly, it's a two-part question. The first is, what exactly is this material? What are these, what is it made of? But more importantly, can you give me a better sense of how they withstand earthquakes or other natural disasters that would typically afflict Haiti? Is there any research about that? I mean, is it, again, I don't know about these bricks.
Yeah, so eco bricks are made with plastic bottles that are filled with a combination of plastic waste, rocks, sand, pretty much anything that you could use to fill up a plastic bottle that is heavy. So they provide sort of a support that you would usually get from cement bricks. And the benefit with the eco bricks here is that when you're building with these materials, you have more money basically to spend on rebar, on other materials that will make houses sturdy. One of the bigger problems that we faced in earthquakes and other natural disasters is that houses are built with limestone walls, with mud and wood and other things like that in rural Haiti, and that causes them to fall much more easily if there's a natural disaster. Whereas these homes, with the money saved on bricks, you can spend more on other foundation methods to keep the house walls up.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good. Thank you, Daniela. Jessica?
Yeah, thanks, Juliet. I'm interested to hear more about the families that will be living in these homes. Can you talk about how they'll be selected, and particularly how you'll ensure that the selection of the families will be transparent and actually target those who are most vulnerable in the community?
Yeah, of course. So in the past, we've done this before. We've built homes for disaster relief, and we've had a community selection process where the community goes and selects those who are the most needy. So it's very transparent in that way. In this particular form, we plan on doing a baseline check to make sure that the people who apply can, in fact, support paying these payments either monthly or annually to buy their homes. And then after we do that initial screen, it'll be a lottery-based process.
Thank you. And about how many families will be served by the homes that will be built during the project period?
So during the initial project period, it's 24, but we intend, because people are paying into it every year, to be able to keep on doing that and expanding for as long as the project is needed, with 2 to 3 homes being built every year.
Great, thank you.
Also related to that question, pardon me for jumping in, but you mentioned repairing some homes. How many homes are you planning to repair? Do you have an idea?
Oh, I was stating that we've repaired homes and built homes in the past following disasters. So we're accustomed to figuring out how to choose. With this funding, we wouldn't be repairing homes, we would be building new ones.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. Raymond?
So Juliet, I guess it's also a follow-up to Jessica's question. So, I mean, how will you determine the credit profile of these homeowners? Because it seems like it's going to be structured more like a mortgage. So how do you determine the credit profile? And then I guess as a follow-up, ensuring against financial loss. And then the last one is, I heard you mention something, you will be purchasing undesirable land. I think that term kind of makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. So can you elaborate what specifically is undesirable land?
Yeah, of course. I can start with the undesirable land part. What I mean by undesirable land is land that is currently located on mountains that aren't completely arable at current moment. So what happens is they have to be terraced. The reason they can't be built on and be used for gardens right now is that years of rain water taking all of the soil off, because there's nothing been in its way, has made it so places that used to be arable aren't right now. So we plan on terracing it so that people can live there again and be able to farm there again, which we have a lot of experience doing.
Good.
And then in terms of, sorry.
No, you can go on. You can.
And in terms of the credit profile, you're right. You can't produce a credit report very easily on La Gonave. So what we're going to do is look into what people do for work, but we are also providing them with a secondary source of income by making it so that they can garden on site by providing water access, which is something that a lot of people can do if they have land, but a lot of people don't have their land. So they'll be able to both feed themselves with this garden and sell some of it to make more money to pay for their homes.
Thank you. Etop?
Yes, thank you, Juliet, for the information thus far. Could you tell, just very simply, can you tell me how long it takes to build a house with the model you guys are proposing? And how long does it take to find or do a land assessment and find the proper land to build?
Okay. So it takes about a month to build a house from the beginning stages of the collection of the bottles and the land, and the rocks and everything that goes into it, and then getting the builders to put it up. So with that, and in terms of identification of land, we've already identified some land that we would be interested in purchasing within the community. So at least for the first few rounds, we know where we would want to do this.
Thank you. And secondly, can you talk more about the the work in this field and the success that you guys have had thus far in the sustainability model that you mentioned in your presentation.
Yeah, of course. In terms of the success of Friends of Matanoa's work in this field, we have built over 40 homes in the community and in other communities following natural disasters. After the 2010 earthquake, we went into 8 different communities and started building homes for people that they had deemed the most vulnerable. So that would be a success point. And in terms of the sustainability model, what we mean is that with the proceeds that are being put back in from the community members who are paying off their houses, we will be able to buy more land and produce more houses to keep it going until we hopefully reach a point where we have enough houses for the different community members.
All right, perfect. Good. Alors, bonne chance, Juliette.
All right, merci en pile.
Okay, good. All right, so thank you very much. We had our 3 pitches for tonight, and it was great. We had Cora, and we had Marie Fouché for Cora. We had Daniela for DJP Multiple Services, Juliette for Friend of Matanoa. Now the judges will go to the scoring board, and after that, we're going to reveal the results. But we're going to take a short break, and we will be back.
The 1987 Constitution of Haiti recognizes the right of every citizen to decent housing, education, food and social security. This ideal is yet to be materialized for most people living in the country. A majority of Haitians live in overpopulated urban centers. Almost 5 million people live in rural areas. The deficit of adequate and affordable housing is a long-standing challenge in Haiti. Security of tenure in Haiti is a significant problem. It's often the cause of property disputes and puts many at risk of forced eviction. Roughly 70% of Port-au-Prince pre-earthquake population lived in informal settlements. These neighborhoods lack access to basic services and are often located in high-risk zones. Haiti lacks a government ministry for housing and urbanization. Responsibilities lie in competing entities scattered across government ministries. By some estimates, Haiti is facing a national housing deficit of more than 500,000 units. On the opposite side of the supply issue, Haitians' households lack purchasing power. Housing prices can be very high, reaching several $100,000 in Port-au-Prince. The mortgage market is almost non-existent, and large-scale housing developments are very rare. Haiti has a long road ahead to reach the ideals established in its constitution. And the Article 25 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which stipulates that everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of himself and of his family, including food, clothing, housing and medical care.
I'm incredibly proud of leading a team right now, the DART, the Disaster Assistance Response Team. And I'm proud that folks have rolled up their sleeves, willing to get out in dangerous situations, flying throughout the country, probably working 16 to 18-hour days, but working together, no complaining. Everybody's just, how do we work, coordinate our efforts with the UN, with the government, with our military colleagues. Currently, we're 97 people. We have medical doctors here as part of the USAR team. We have people whose expertise is in logistics. We have people whose expertise is in health. We have people whose expertise is in shelter. We have people whose expertise is communication. And also we have 2 folks whose expertise is safety and security to keep the DART safe.
To vote, go to investortank.org/vote. Scroll down and check the organization's pitch presentations. Select the best organization, click on the name and click Vote. Enter your email address and click Send. You can check the results after your vote. You can also share it on social media.
Oh, all right. Yes, I was so excited for the results. Remember that we had only 3 organizations tonight. The past 2 weeks, we had 5 organizations for each competition, the agribusiness and health. Now, the third place is, according to the judges' votes, DJP Multiple Services. Congratulations. Organisation, ça fait 94 points, mais comment que juge t'es voté pour pitch là? Good job, bon bagay. Et nous pourrons continuer avec deuxième place, hein? Puisque c'est 3 organisations, mais c'est qu'on a tout deviné qui est-ce qui est premier. Deuxième place, second place is Cora Inc. with 103 points. From the committee, mais comment que juge t'ai voté, 103 points, bravo, compliment Cora Inc. Et nous déjà deviné, the first place is gonna be Friends of Matenois. Congratulations, Friends of Matenois, qui fait 129 points. Et mais comment juge t'ai voté pour pitch Lioa? Comment ça pourra le passer? Ou capable voter à partir de minuit et vote a fini le 31 octobre sur investortank.org/voter pour capable voter. Voting starting at midnight until Sunday, October 31st at midnight. So you can vote on investortank.org/vote and your vote can definitely make a difference. So go vote and thank you to everyone. And I'll see you on November 9th for the final results.